Alright, so the Shins album Chutes Too Narrow, 2003, a very soft indie rock album. So really focusing on the singer Mercer's voice and probably a guitar backing him up. So starting it off with Kissing the Lips, he really puts this forward, going incredibly high, which can be it's a bit of a jarring start, to be honest. It can kind of prick that very high sound a wee bit. But it does calm down a bit. I don't know whether that's your ear getting used to it or whether it is him or not. Um, but with the next tune, So Says I, it's actually pretty high like that again. But the next tune, mine's not high horse, his voice does lower a bit. And it continues like that. Obviously, his voice is one of the main things about this. He's really got something to say. But then he's always got a guitar. Occasionally there's good bits of production, so you can hear some violins in the background. And a slide guitar, which is pretty cool. You hear some interesting stuff. There's usually a drum kit behind him, but it's usually all very Beatles inspired. There's elements of it that remind me very much of the Lumineers. Same kind of, I don't know, style or vibe about it. Pink Bullets has got to be the highlight of this album. It's got a very Chris Isaac kind of feel about it. It's such a cool tune. Um, Whereas Young Pilgrims is probably closer to what you hear to begin with, but again, still a very good tune. Overall, it's like I say, sort of Beatles inspired. You hear things of Shins or influences from bands like Rolling Stones, something like that back in the day. A wee bit of softer, more country kind of vibe about it. But so if you're into that kind of stuff, it's a pretty good album, I think, for the person that appreciates the singer. Most of all, this is for them. Um, the main downside, the only real downside, is the final tune is just such a there's nothing to it, which is such a shame. That's how you end the album. But apart from that, like your first tune can be a wee bit jarring. Last tune, there's just nothing really to it. Apart from that, it's not a bad album at all. And if you're into that kind of stuff, you will really appreciate it. This band's obviously got quite a reputation about them. So I guess until next time, too easy.